In the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 14, an event takes place that I believe is describing the act of the rapture. John gave a description of what he saw, and he said this. He said, I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle, and reap, for the time has come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Now we know from previous descriptions of Jesus in the Bible that he was referred to as the Son of Man. And he has a golden crown on his head, and he has this sharp sickle in his hand. And I want to point out that when he thrust his sickle in, there was no blood, there was no violence. The earth was just simply reaped. And you know he wasn't reaping rice. He was reaping souls. Immediately in the next verse, another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven. He also had a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud voice to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles. So when this angel came out, thrust his sickle in, it was the wrath of God going down. And blood came out of the winepress. A lot of people will tell you that at the beginning of the 7-year tribulation period, that's when the rapture is going to happen. But they can't really show you anything to back that up. They'll try to take a few other verses here and there, you know, saying God's promising you're not going to go through any tribulation. But there's many more verses where Jesus Christ was telling us to be prepared for tribulation and that we're going to face persecution. So you might want to look into this and prepare yourselves and realize that it may take a lot of oil in your lamps to get this far at this time. This all happens shortly after you have to have the mark of the beast or be put to death, which would probably be a good time to have a rapture. I've always thought that there was going to be some kind of big event to bring the rapture on, like nuclear war or something that's going to force God's hand, sort of, so to speak, that if he didn't, rapture us at that time, a lot of Christians would be killed. But definitely when the mark of the beast starts going down, a lot of people are going to be laying their lives down. So shortly after that begins to happen, it appears that the rapture happens. I hope you get some insight from this. And leave comments for us with their view. That'd be great. You can copy this stuff and use it any way you like to for studying. You can repost it, do whatever you want with it. Praise Jesus.